Safe practices. Buenos dias, niñas, a todos. Good morning, all. And today we are looking at mobiles. And mobiles you see in the garden, and it's something that delights you. It's something that catches with the wind. Its colors entice you as the light passes through. But today we are going to look at a mobile that tells a story. So let me share my screen and let's begin the story. All right. So our lesson is one of 3 parts. Our mobile is El Tucuche. Now, El Tucuche is located right in our backyard in St. Joseph. When we look at a mobile, where did it go? Right. When we look at a mobile, this is what we think of, right? So now in this lesson, girls, you can also add things into it. But one of the main things I need to see a 3-dimensional aspect. All right. So the first part I am showing you 3-dimensional. All right. So 3-dimensional is this. So notice it's a cylinder. Okay. Notice too what I said, different trinkets, different things that show in lights, possibly even bells. This is 2-dimensional. It's flat. It is also a mobile, all right? But I want ours to begin 3-dimensional. All the elements here are 3-dimensional because when we say 3-dimensional, length, width, and height, or it has volume or space within it, all right? So, one of my favorite verses every time. We are so lucky to be in Trinidad to have mountains around us. And whenever I see the mountains, I always say this: I lift my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm 121, verse 1 to 2. Now, girls, I want you're in standard 4 or 5, and I know it's a bit challenging, right? Just take a break, go outside, look at the nearest mountain, and ask God and tell him, I know my help comes from you because you are the maker of heaven and earth. So at St. Joseph, right, we are here in St. Joseph, and in St. Joseph, we are nestled in the northern range. A range in the north is made up of a group of mountains. There are many mountains here. But today we are looking at a special mountain, the second highest mountain in the world, in Trinidad. Yes, that mountain, El Tucuche. So this is El Tucuche here, girls. This here is El Tucuche. And do you know that this is called the praying hands? Now, when you are driving from St. Joseph, right, because of the perspective, and this mountain is in front of the other mountain, it appears to be higher, but it's not so. This is El Tucuche. What is unique about this mountain? It's called a pyramidal shaped mountain. It was also known by the Amerindians as a sacred mountain. As you know, St. Joseph was our first capital. The Spaniards, with Christopher Columbus, when they came, well, before that, we had the Amerindians living in this valley, right? Now, the Amerindians recognized the shape of this mountain as throughout the Andes, this shape is very unique. And it is known to have some sacred values to it, right? We're going to learn a lot more in our next 2 lessons about the Amerindians and the relation to this mountain. Now, this mountain is also an Amerindian word for the hummingbird. Now, you know that Trinidad is also called the land of the hummingbird, right? And the Amerindians believe that the hummingbirds were the souls of their ancestors and even gods. By the way, how they would just appear and disappear, their swift movements, their change of color in a flick or a splash of sunlight. So in many ways, it is very, very sacred. It's a very special mountain, right? Now, one of the things I like Me gusta ir de excursión. Me gusta means I like. Ir de excursión means I like to go hiking. And I have been hiking up this mountain. This is up to where the Maracas waterfalls is. All right? And I've never hiked to El Tucuche. You know why? That mountain is 936 meters high, which is 10 times, a little more than 10 times the height of the Eric Williams Financial Complex, locally known as the Twin Towers. All right? So just imagine that. Eric Williams Complex is 92 meters, and right behind our school, the second highest mountain in Trinidad, 932 meters, stands the sacred mountain called El Tucuche. This mountain is known as the praying hands. And if you look at it carefully, it does look like a praying hands tilted this way. All right? The Amerindians also call that the praying hands. All right, so here we see the shape. It's pyramidal. All right, I want you to look at the shape carefully. It's a flat top mountain. On a clear day, you can see that actual flat top. All right, some days there's actually mist there. Now, what is so unique about this mountain, girls, is that because of its high altitude, the forest there is known as elfin woodland. Elfin from the word elf, right? That means that the trees are kind of dwarf shaped because of the breeze and the coolness of there. It is said that when you go and hike up there, it's really cool. The vegetation is very different. It's very bright, green, and also you have brilliant colors. But mind you, in nature, brilliant colors means danger. So you can't just go up El Tucuche. You need a tour. All right? So this is it when we are looking at it from Las Cuevas side. When we go around Maracas side, you will see this poking out. And it is often said, this is El Tucuche. No, honeys, this is not El Tucuche. This is the praying hands, and this is El Tucuche. All right? All right, so now we are going to create the papier-mâché. So girls, in our first stage, so we are going to start our mobile with the image, with the model, the 3D model of El Tucuche, right? I would like you to recycle everything. So some of you, you might have your old school books. You tear it up into little bits, right? Soak it. You can soak it overnight, right? So that it will return back to its original state. Pulp, strips, pieces of wood, even like pieces of wood, little strips, right? The second stage, now notice, it soaked longer and it was a lot more softer. So I went and I tore it up even more to get it a little more squishy because I really need to get it squishy, right? After that, I strained it out and applied normal paper glue, what we use in school. Then I kneaded the glue into a hard sort of paste, all right? So you apply the glue as you see fit because we want to make a model with it, okay? Almost clay-like. Now, this now is the molding. Notice how I molded everything to look like the mountains. Remember, El Tucuche is a part of a mountain range. So I want you to do yours as a part of a mountain range. Also, we want perfect balance. So I use a normal cover, right? I did my mold leaving space on the outside here. In the middle, dead center, I bore my hole and put in my wire, okay? Right. Now, when it is finished, I left it in the sun to dry. Okay. Now, girls, this sculpturing, some of you might have access to clay. Fine. You can use clay. Some of you might have access to modeling clay, right? Some of you might have even access to plaster Paris. You can use those things. Anything that will help you mold it. Some of you might have soldo, right? and you bake it afterwards to get it. Whatever it is, I want a mold sculpture. I want a sculpture of El Tucuche. All right? Don't forget a wire in the center because we are going to make our mobile. Oh, and it begins with a 3D mobile. So you keep this in mind. Mountain ranges. So there is, remember, mountain range is a group of mountains. So that is, so look, we have one mountain here. We have another mountain here. We have the praying hands. And in the background, we have the altitude. It's so high, there's even clouds. I think I'm going to put some clouds on mine afterwards. Right. So here it is now. Now what I did after it dried, I put white paint on it. Some of you, your fathers or uncles might be building home by you. I know a lot of people are making mini classrooms and mini offices in their home. And you might even have joint compound. Yes, you could use this. You might have white paint. Yes, you can do this because you need the whiter the background is, it is better to work on. Because of the nature of the paper mache, it tends to be gray. And if you paint on top of the gray, it makes your color look even dull. Also, you will notice that I use many colors. I use blue, right? If you looked at the picture before, you would see, I'll flip back for you to see, that there was shades of blue, dark blue, and I just took the paintbrush. Let me get my paintbrush. I just took the paintbrush and in a dabbing motion, I didn't paint, I dab, right? Because I want to give the illusion of many trees. Oh my goodness. I want to give the illusion of many trees. I applied yellow, and we all know when we add yellow with green, you'll get light green. I continue doing this, hence I got this. All right. So girls, this is my model in the end. So we can see, let me bring it a little closer for you, the different shades of green. Because if you look at the mountains, it's never one shade of green. Notice too that I left a border here. I left a border here, right? So that I could put my other trinkets, okay? So our mobile is going to be quite different. Our mobile is going to tell a story about El Tucuche. The first part of the story, we know that El Tucuche means the hummingbird. Remember that, girls? Because we're going to make this telling a story. Also, girls, I want to leave with you a video on El Tucuche because I know we can't go out anywhere, but we could go out virtually. So, vamos a ir de excursión. So, let us go on an excursion. Let us go on a hike. All right? So, we will be going on a hike. And me gusta las montañas. I love mountains. Don't you? And remember, girls, when you look up to the mountains and you want to take that break, say, where does my help come from? My help comes from you, O Lord, who made the mountains, the heavens, and the earth. All right, girls? So I look forward to your work. Adios. Don't forget, when you're going out, put on your mask, right? Make sure, no, not your nose. Your nose must not be out. Your nose and your mouth must be covered. Remember too, when you come back, you take it out from here. Also, hands, remember to wash your hands properly. Make sure you see it ladder. Don't just pass the soap. Make sure you see it comes in to the corners of your fingers. All right, girls. So be safe. I look forward to your artwork. Adios.